What is happening, y'all? Welcome to the second to last episode of The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. This episode, we are not only going to be finishing up some of these little, mini dungeons, whatever the hell you want to call them, before the Ganondorf boss battle, but we are also going to be going through Ganon's, actual castle. Up to this point, inside of Ganon's castle, we were essentially unlocking barriers to get in the gate to his real castle. Then, once you get in the actual castle itself, you have a couple of enemies to fight, and once you're done with those guys, you're pretty much done with the game. Boss fight right after that. So next episode is going to start right up with the boss fight. That much I can confirm. I'm excited for it. I'm excited to finally end this Let's Play off. I'm excited to start my Let's Play on A Link to the Past. I've already started playing through that game and I love it. Whether or not I like it more than the Minish Cap, which is the only other 2D Zelda game I've played, kind of debatable. And actually, I guess I have played the original Legend of Zelda. I've played more of that, actually, than I have of A Link to the Past. With A Link to the Past, I had played that before, but I hadn't played it other than, the first dungeon and a half. What I mean by that is I played, essentially, the first, not the actual first dungeon either. I just got through that section in the castle, and I ended up not knowing where to go next. That's essentially what happened. With the original Legend of Zelda, I'm currently on the 4th dungeon. Literally, just right in the middle of it. Wouldn't know where it is exactly. But yeah, I will say, the original Legend of Zelda is extremely complicated. The dungeons are, not exactly as well thought out as these ones. But, still fun. Still really, really fun. One thing I do like about the original Legend of Zelda is that if you get a key, you don't have to use every key in one dungeon. You can get a key in, Dungeon 2 and still use that thing up in, Dungeon 8. There are 9 dungeons in the original Legend of Zelda, I believe. I'm not sure if there's any items you have to get in the 4th dungeon, though. I know, personally, I did have to go back for the raft because I didn't know, I was kind of just looking for where to go for the 4th dungeon, and I eventually gave in and looked up a guide, and I found out that you needed the raft item from the 3rd dungeon. So yeah, I'm slowly making progress in the original Legend of Zelda. Slowly but surely. Honestly, a lot more fun than I thought it would be. I know I diss it a lot and say it's outdated, but it is still very fun. It's my least favorite of the series. Does that mean I dislike it? Hell to the no. Hell to the no. It's still an amazing game regardless. Every Zelda game is an amazing game. That being said, I haven't played every Zelda game. I'm just going based on what I know, okay? I know that Ocarina of Time is an amazing game. I know that the Minish Cap is an amazing game. I definitely know that Skyward Sword's an amazing game. Link to the Past is really good so far. Also an amazing game. And as well as just the original. Even if you are one of the people who thinks the original is outdated, which I think it's outdated, I can agree on that much. That does not at all mean I think it's bad. But even if you are one of the people who thinks it's outdated, you gotta give them actual, props for what they did all the way back then. You gotta give them props. You gotta give them props. Because honestly, Zelda has been the franchise that kind of always... Zelda was always the franchise that gave us the big Nintendo game that kind of showed us the hardware and everything. You know, with the original Legend of Zelda, that was post Mario. So Mario, I admit Mario kind of took the spot there. Then we went into the SNES era, okay? The SNES era, bro. The SNES era. A Link to the Past absolutely dominated in sales. Absolutely. Ocarina of Time, even better. I forget how many millions of sales Ocarina of Time hit in like its first week of being out. I know it was millions of sales in its first week, which is really good. Really good. It probably hit like 1 million in the first day, honestly. I'm not one to speak on that, but I know that it did sell well even back when it came out, and now it's widely regarded as one of, if not the best game of all time. And if you honestly just sit down and play it and give it a chance, even if you are one of those people who's like, not necessarily into like puzzle games or anything, even if you are someone like that, if you actually just sit down and play it and give it a chance, you will agree that Ocarina of Time is one of the best games of all time. And if you don't, for whatever reason, you have to at least admit, Ocarina of Time probably influenced your favorite video game in some way. Because the way I look at it, in terms of 3D gaming, the two games that influenced everything, and I mean everything, from like for single player IP games. We're talking everything from Call of Duty to Watch Dogs to Souls, anything that is like a third person, either campaign or multiplayer based, pretty much any third person 3D game was influenced by Zelda. Either Ocarina of Time or Metal Gear Solid. Those are the two games that I look at as being the inspiration for just about every game. Because Metal Gear Solid kind of influenced the the stealth aspects in modern gaming, and then Ocarina of Time, like I said, influenced like the single player third person adventure. The one that immediately comes to mind for me is just like GTA, Red Dead Redemption, any like main story, God of War, even any third-person story game was 100% influenced by Ocarina of Time, even if it wasn't directly inspired by Ocarina of Time. It was for sure inspired by something that was inspired by Ocarina of Time, or at least a chain of events, like the butterfly effect. Maybe Ocarina of Time inspired Resident Evil or something. And then Resident Evil goes on to inspire Resident Evil 4. And then Resident Evil 4 inspires, like, I don't know, like, fucking Watch Dogs. Whatever it may be. Surprisingly, this mini ice dungeon, this was actually the easiest one. Very surprisingly, because I did not expect to, this stuff with like the blue fire and whatnot. I didn't expect that to be the easiest one, in all honesty. But yeah, if you guys actually just take a second and watch here, it is really easy, honestly. Extremely easy. Really quick as well, which was what I really liked about it. Just because I'm not necessarily the most patient person, which is strange, because Zelda tends to be not for impatient people, and I might be the most impatient person out there. I have heard that an Ocarina of Time remake is in the works, and it's using Unreal Engine 5. If that's true, that's going to be absolutely crazy, because Unreal Engine 5 is like the shit they're using for PS5 games, y'all. Even if it's like Unreal Engine 4, and it can, you know, just so they can fit it on the Switch. That would still be amazing, because this game, I know I was earlier on in the game, I was one of the people who thought, you know, it's kind of outdated. I don't like it as much as like Skyward Sword per se. Now I love it. It's again probably at least in my top 10. I know that for a fact. But yeah, if they did make a remake of this, a whole nother generation would be able to experience this. Because I'd say just about every like hardcore gamer in Gen Z has experienced Ocarina of Time. If you're someone who just plays for fun, or if you're someone who plays, you know, like when they get a chance, you don't actually own a console, or, you know, something like that. If you're somebody like that, you probably haven't. But pretty much any hardcore gamer in Gen Z has played Ocarina of Time. I mean, this game came out around the time we were all getting our first consoles. And by we, I mean you fellow Gen Z people who were born in the 90s. Because what Gen Z is considered like 95 to 09. And I'm an 08, so I'm very late Gen Z. But yeah, just introducing this game to like kids my age, kids younger than that who were like have a Switch or whatever, you know. Honestly, that would just be the smartest move by Nintendo. Possibly the smartest move they've ever made, in all honesty. This part right here was hard to pull off. I had to do this twice, actually. I don't know if y'all saw, there was a cut before that. I actually did use a save state, and I ended up doing that twice. It was like the ever so slightest cut ever. But I did use a save state right before that, just because I knew that was going to be kind of hard to pull off. And it was, so I guess I was kind of lucky in using a save state, because Din's Fire fucks up for me all the time. It fucks up when it's supposed to fuck up, when I don't have the magic. Hey, buddy, look over here. That's right, that's right. That's right, bro. I work, like, all weekend, y'all. So, I don't know. I might get that last episode out tonight. Just to get it out of the way, get it off my mind. But it is around 40 minutes. So, the voiceover gonna take a while. And I also plan to play a little bit of Far Cry 4 today. I'm going out with some friends later today. But, if I can fit some Far Cry 4 in there, might as well. Yeah, I have been playing Far Cry 4, for those of you who are keeping up with the other Let's Plays on my channel. And it's not necessarily my favorite game, I'll say that. Not necessarily my favorite game. You can, if you watch my videos, I keep on like raging and shit, and you could say like skill issue, but honestly, I genuinely feel like the game is badly designed. And I know people say it's similar to Far Cry 3. If Far Cry 3 is anything like Far Cry 4, I'm not gonna like it. Let me just say that. I do hear that Far Cry 3 has more of a focus on the antagonist, thankfully. Far Cry 4 is the exact opposite. The protagonist is the main character. obviously. But the antagonist of Far Cry 3 essentially steals the show from what I hear. And that's what I'm excited for with Far Cry 3. If the gameplay is... I'm not going to say anything like Far Cry 4. But if the gameplay is worse or the exact same as Far Cry 4, then we're going to have some fucking problems. Because I'm not going to like it. Simple. Simple. I'm not going to like it. I believe this might be the last room, actually, and then we actually get into Ganon's castle. There is one thing I have to do before going into Ganon's castle itself. Yeah, this is Saria right here. The forest barrier's distilled. I believe that actually is all of them. Yes, there we go. Ha ha ha. Amazing, y'all. Absolutely amazing. The last thing I do have to do, of course, before heading into Ganon's castle, is simply run down here, run out of the castle real quick. We got one last thing to do, or else this boss battle is going to be way harder than it already is. Actually, they're both pretty easy, I'm not going to lie. Ganondorf is a lot harder than Ganon, though, I will say that much. They should have swapped it around, honestly. You know, like, make the human form a big reveal, since this is the first time we're seeing it. And then let us see. No, I'm sorry. Like, just keep him in the fucking pig form the whole game, so that we think we're gonna be dealing with some big ass threat right at the end. And then towards the end, go ahead and give us the fucking big, like, Ganondorf reveal. Just because Ocarina of Time, I believe, is the first time we see Ganon's human form, Ganondorf. Gyat, bro. Gyat. Gyat, damn. The Fairy of Courage or whatever. But, yeah, she essentially doubles the amount of damage we can take. So, instead of taking, like, 2 hearts from an enemy, we'll take 1. That's for us. Instead of us getting hit twice, we would get hit once instead. Or you can... I could have just explained it like her. My damage will be reduced by half. So this actually helps a lot. Not for the boss battle necessarily, because like I said, the boss itself is pretty easy. But for the stuff before the boss battle, because there is room, you guys will see in just a second here, where you have to fight 2 Dark Knights at once. At least I believe that's what they're called. I know I have said that before. I'm not exactly sure what those guys are called. Like the guys that were in the Spirit Temple. I believe that's a 3D version of them. And you know, it's like I said, I did just get done in Dungeon 3 on the original Legend of Zelda. That shit was kind of hard with the Dark Knights in there. That was hella hard. The Dark Knights in that damn game are hella hard, bro. And that's the original. Y'all can see how it evolves. Y'all can see how it keeps on going from there. Because that's just the original. From here, you just kind of head up. I was really trying not to get hit by these bats, bro. And I got hit by the damn bats. Of course, it would have taken half a heart if I did not go to that Great Fairy. It only took a quarter. These guys are fairly easy. They have a slightly different design, but they are essentially like the same guys that we would face in the rest of the game. I know y'all know them damn lizard things that I'm talking about. They were in the fire temple and anything else fire related. Damn, homie. Come on, come at me. Come at me, buddy. Come at me, bro. Come at me, blood. Hey, this one drops a heart for us. That's amazing. How sweet of you. I forget what the next battle is, honestly. No, I think it's like 2 of those, skull things. I forget what they're called. Skull toast or something? Yep, that's exactly what it is. I knew because of the fire, because there is actually, like the Minish Cap, there's like a section right after the boss, or right after the second phase of the boss, where you have to get out of the damn castle before it explodes, or crumbles, or whatever. And yeah, during that 3-minute section, you have to rescue Zelda from that ring of fire there. These guys, during that 3-minute section, these guys are actually going to be the main thing that, like, saves or kills your time. Enough about Zelda. How about we talk about me for a second here, y'all? I'm proud. I just hit like 130 on benching. That's not a lot. I know that, but I did just recently start working out, honestly. So self-improvement. Before I actually like started working out, I could only do about like a couple reps of 80. So that's actually really good for me now. That's actually really good. I've been working out about a year now. That's what I mean when I say recently. It's like a year. So that's actually really good for me. Really good. 130 is like, mwah. I'd say 130 is probably like the average amount a dude can bench. So I'm getting like healthier. I'm getting healthier here, y'all. And here's that room with these 2 Dark Knights. Again, I think that's what they're called. Not sure. I think that's what it is. Yeah, I think about 130 is how much the average dude can bench. Oh, that's right. I had to switch them boots. Cause if you don't switch them boots, that's hella hard. That's hella hard if you don't switch them boots. Because otherwise, you can't do that backflip there. The backflip is the easiest way to beat these guys, honestly. If you don't switch to like the normal boots, you can't really do a backflip. Yeah, I think y'all can tell. I am fairly good at this. I think y'all can tell. No save states here either, actually. Normally, before something like this, I would have used a save state. But I didn't. Because I'm just that good. Dang, that's 1 down, y'all. That's the first 1 down. Now we just gotta focus on this next guy, and we are good, y'all. Alright, sorry for the lack of commentary. I honestly just have nothing to talk about. That's why I started rambling on about myself and how much I can bench now. Yeah, it's like I said. from going from like being able to bench 80 to being able to bench 130 in like a year, that's crazy. That's not too bad. That's not too bad. Yeah, I got fucking huge forearms. Then like my lower arms, like near my wrist and shit, it's like it's small down there. It's like actually small as hell down there. Shit is crazy. Alright then, y'all. That is gonna be it for today's episode. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. Drop a like, hit the subscribe button, and the notification bell. Until the next one. Peace out, y'all.